All right, we got some more receipts of this major prophecy that's getting ready to take place over the four corners of the earth, primarily here in Mystery Babylon the Great. If you can't see this prophecy, the Most High is not dealing with you. All right, if you cannot see this prophecy, the Most High is not dealing with you. So without further ado, you may open with a scripture, Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. And let's get into it.
BRICS was set up to hurt us. BRICS was set up to degenerate our dollar. And if we lost the world standard dollar, that would be like losing a war.
This is shaping up to be a crazy week already. Bitcoin just hit another all-time high early this morning, 123,000. Right now, we are in the final battle to save the US dollar as we speak. It's like the final boss fight. On the one side, the United States. The other side is the BRICS nations, led by China, who are dumping US dollars and hoarding gold. So Trump right now is facing the battle of a lifetime because the world is shifting away from American dominance. Trump is throwing everything he's got right now, trying to stop the rise of BRICS, halting global de-dollarization before it's too late. And this week, right now, as we speak, is being called Crypto Week on Capitol Hill. It might be his last best shot with this strategy.
So we got into crypto not because it was like, hey, this is the next cool thing. We got into it out of necessity.
So we've got a couple of big developments on this Monday that I want to talk about and what's happening on Capitol Hill right now. So as we speak, lawmakers are now debating a wave of new crypto bills, including the Genius Act, which is Trump's push to back the U.S. stable coins with real clarity and real power. He's also backing the anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, Anti-Central Bank Digital Currency Act.
This game, you're not ready for it.
And the Clarity Act. So this isn't just regulatory housekeeping, stable coins with real clarity and real power. He's also backing the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, Anti-Central Bank Digital Currency Act, and the Clarity Act. So this isn't just regulatory housekeeping happening in Washington right now. This is economic warfare. And this is happening while China and the BRICS nations are launching a full-scale attack on the dollar's supremacy. So Trump is betting really on crypto to kind of pull the dollar out of its death spiral. And the way to do that is by using blockchain to extend American influence into the digital future. Stable coins, strategic Bitcoin reserves, calls to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. This is his counteroffensive, and it's actually pretty damn smart. And by the way, journalist Whitney Webb on our show last year warned that this was coming. And I actually thought when she said, I was like, wow, it's actually a genius move. She said this is likely going to be the only way to save the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency, tying it to stable coins. Otherwise, it's pretty much going belly up. Now, if you're unfamiliar with stable coins, don't worry. Like if you're new to the crypto space, that's okay. It's a type of cryptocurrency, but they don't jump up and down in value like Bitcoin. They're called stable for a reason because they stay the same value, usually $1, by being tied to something solid like the US dollar. So instead of tying the US dollar to oil, the petrodollar, which is now being dumped, now you tie it to crypto. It's actually a really brilliant move. And then you declare that the US is the crypto capital of the world. And anybody who wants a stable coin then has to have it backed by US dollars. See how all of this works? So if you have one stable coin, it's like having one real dollar just in digital form. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't coming from a place of like strength, like the United States dollar is super strong. No, this is coming from a place that the United States dollar is bleeding as we speak. Since the start of 2025, it's dropped against 8 major currencies. From a high of 109, we're now sitting at 103. And no, this isn't a temporary dip. Inflation, ballooning deficits, growing global distrust are taking their toll. Meanwhile, the establishment wants you to believe it's all just a blip. It's not at all. It's the beginning of a real structural decline right now. Now zoom out And look at what BRICS is doing as we speak. Well, they've added new power players: Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, the UAE, and now control nearly half the global population and over a quarter of global GDP. And what's their plan? Well, their plan is to trade in local currencies. You want to trade in rupees, yuan, you can do that. And you can hoard gold at the same time, which is what they're doing. Build out crypto alternatives. So dismantle the dollar's role as the world's reserve currency. They don't want crypto. They want gold. And they don't want US dollars. And Trump knows this. But Trump wants crypto. He knows it's his last Hail Mary pass right now.
Because BRICS was set up to hurt us. BRICS was set up to degenerate our dollar. And if we lost the world standard dollar, that would be like losing a war, a major world war. We would not be the same country any longer.
Yeah, so this prophecy is speaking, all right, in a 441 and 144. So that's the spirit called Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai. This prophecy of the mark of the beast is speaking loud and clear. All right. If you cannot see it, it's because the Most High is not dealing with you. All right. The receipts are endless. All right. Right now, the U.S. debt clock is at $37 trillion and counting. Inflation is at an all-time high. All right. And as the dollar is losing value, you got Bitcoin that's skyrocketing, and you got all these different, coins, digital currencies coming up, cryptocurrencies, which ultimately is going to be mandatory. Everything is going to go digital. All right. And it's all really to fulfill Bible prophecy. There's no saving the US dollar. There's no saving the paper dollar system. Okay. Everything will go digital according to Bible prophecy being fulfilled. The mark of the beast, which is the digital implantable micro CHIP. Okay. So with this whole BRICS dollar, okay, the BRICS nations, which is pretty much, dumping the US dollar and is hurting the US dollar, ultimately is going to turn to America trying to save its own ass by coming out with what they're calling it now is a stable coin, which the name can change, but it's going to be some type of blockchain cryptocurrency. It's going to be linked to the central bank digital currency, the CBDCs, and it's ultimately going to be an implantable device. Okay, we say the RFID micro CHIP. Okay, but it don't got to be the grain of rice. It can be something smaller, but it's definitely going to be within your skin, under your skin. This is what they want to do. So let's get the prophecy. Revelation 13 and 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And this image of the beast is going into this new world order. Okay. The image of the ancient Roman Empire. Okay. This NWO, which is going to be centered around the mark of the beast, which is the digital implantable microchip. Okay. You're not going to be able to buy and sell, as the prophecy is going to say. All right. And there's going to be a penalty of death if you don't want to get down with the system. All right. And this is what the prophets are here to warn you of. This is what life is going to come to in the very, very near future. You're not going to be able to buy and sell unless you take a digital implantable microchip where you can be tracked, you can be traced, everything can be traced, everything can be tracked. And you can be controlled, manipulated. All right. Total control given to Esau, starting with the elite bankers. Okay. That's what they want. But we know, according to prophecy, Esau is not going to be able to fulfill this prophecy, completely, entirely, getting everybody chipped. A lot of people are going to be chipped. The prophecy is going to take place. But Yahweh Shai is going to come in the midst of Jacob's trouble, in the midst of this prophecy, and put an end to it. All right, and destroy this man in his kingdom. But Revelation 13 and 16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that's the charagma. All right, the digital implantable micro CHIP. Okay. It's up. All right, pull it up on the screen real quick. All right. Yeah, this prophecy is speaking loud and clear. And by this point, if you cannot see that this is the mark of the beast, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is not dealing with you, okay? And you're not a prophet, and you're not of the elect. You know, this is a major prophecy. Salvation is on the line concerning this prophecy. Life and death is on the line concerning this prophecy. Okay, regardless of how much laws, statutes, and commandments you think you are keeping as an Hebrew Israelite, if you take this microchip, you're not going to be saved. You're through. And that's the seriosity of this prophecy. But let's read it again. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that's going to take place because the US dollar is going to be obsolete. You know, it's going to be done away with one way or another. However Esau does it, whether the dollar collapses or whether they just transfer the whole system to digital currency, regardless, he's going to cause everybody to get this chip if you want to buy and sell. That's why the next verse it says, and that no man might buy or sell. So that's what's going to be on the line. Buying and selling. All right, buying and selling, and that's how you survive in this society, especially in America, and really all over the world. You buy and you sell. All right, so you're not going to be able to buy and sell unless you take this specific mark, which is the mark of the beast. All right, and contrary to popular belief, everything is going digital soon. All right, we see the prophecies speaking loud and clear. And as you got the BRICS nations that are coming up against the US dollar and forming an alliance to really come up against America. On top of that, you got war in the Middle East, you got earthquakes, you got all the signs that Yahweh Shai spoke of, rumors of wars, you know, you got floods, flash floods, you got all different types of prophecy taking place. So how close are we to this? You know? And, you know, guys say, oh, the mark of the beast is sin. Well, how are you going to buy and sell with sin? You know, how are you going to buy? What, you're going to go to the supermarket, you're going to go to Walmart, and, you know, the cashier is going to ask you, hey, you know, what sin did you commit today? Well, you know, I lusted after another man's wife. You know, I was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? These guys that say that, IUIC, ISUPK, WFI, they're going to be found out to be false prophets. The mark of the beast is the RFID microchip, whether it's the grain of rice or whether it's a smaller implant, whether it's a square, it doesn't matter. It's going to be something they're going to put inside of you with this RFID technology, okay, the NFC technology, okay. Verse 17, Revelation 13 and 17, and no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you're not going to be able to buy and sell unless you take this mark. And that's what you saw in the post-production video, which I'm gonna play the video back. I'm gonna finish the video out, I should say. Okay, because I saw the video on Redacted, and I thought, hey, let me hop on it. All right. And the video is entitled, and it's 144, by the way. So it's entitled Something Big is Coming and Trump is Out of Time. Yeah. And he's out of time trying to save this US dollar. Okay. The US dollar is done. All right, everything's going to go digital. There's going to be a major event, whatever it's going to be, that's going to take place. That's going to switch the whole system over to the stable coin or the Bitcoin or the blockchain. Ultimately, the monetary system is going to go from a regular central bank to a central bank digital currency, the CBDCs, which is all going to be linked into the mark of the beast. All right. And this is a major test from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the hour of temptation. All right. Let's go there real quick. Okay. Let's go to Revelation 3 and verse 10. All right. Revelation 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And this is the prophecy of when the mark of the beast is mandatory, because it is going to be mandatory. You're not going to be able to pay your bills. You're not going to be able to buy food, buy water, unless you take the mark of the beast. And it's going to be it's a test from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. This is a test to see who you're going to serve. You know, the hour of temptation. Everybody's going to be tempted. You know, it's going to be a major test. And a lot of Israelites are going to fail this test because their leaders have been telling them that it's not the RFID chip. It's not, what Great Millstone's been saying it is. But at the end of the day, let every man be a liar and let God be true. And let the prophecy is going to speak for itself. We're going to come to the point you're not going to be able to bullshit the prophecy, and Bishop Nathaniel and these guys. If you tell your congregation to take it, then, most likely these guys are sold out, right, to the so-called white man. They sold out, all right? And we'll see, we'll see when this prophecy fully takes place, but then shall it be known that a prophet have been among them. When this prophecy happens, when it fully unfolds, you're going to know that you were among prophets. Because we're not questioning whether this is the mark of the beast, whether it may be, are you sure? No, we're 144% sure that this is the mark of the beast, this RFID microchip, the radio frequency identification chip is going to be mandatory in the near future, okay? And we give praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for opening up our eyes to seeing this prophecy, because look how much Israelites don't see it. IUIC, that's one of the, if not the biggest Israelite group concerning members, which it's not about members, but they have, if not the most members, close to it concerning Israel. And all of those guys, they don't know what the mark of the beast is. So during this time, if Bishop Nathaniel don't get his shit together, he gonna ultimately lead his followers to taking the chip, as the scriptures say. If the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. The ultimate ditch that's ahead, the ultimate ditch that is lying ahead is this prophecy of the mark of the beast. And a lot of people are going to fall into this ditch because they're going to take the chip. They're going to take the chip. And you're going to think your fringes and, your Friday, Saturday, Sabbath is going to save you. And you're going to be in a lake of fire. You're going to eat a missile. It's the reality of it. All right, so let's get this real quick. 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we give praise to the Most High for that he has opened our eyes and gave us, we have the unction, the eye salve to be able to see what this prophecy really is. As the scriptures say, as his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. So this prophecy is very plain to the elect. It's very plain. And all the receipts are here. And every week you're hearing about the central bank digital currency. You're hearing about RFID. You're hearing about Bitcoin, and it's all leading up to this major prophecy being fulfilled. Yahweh Shai is not going to come back until this prophecy is fulfilled. Nuclear missiles are not going to be shot off until this prophecy is fulfilled. This is the prophecy we all need to be speaking on. And we're going to keep speaking on it. All right. Regardless if people want to hear it or not, we're going to keep speaking on this until this prophecy is here. Okay. Until this Mando. All right. So Satan is not going to get an advantage of us. We are not ignorant of his devices, but you got a lot of Israelites that are ignorant of the devices of Satan, ignorant of Esau's technology, right? Isaiah 31:1, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Yeah, because when this shit pops off and the crash of the dollar and there's a lawless society, Esau is going to come in and try to save the day with his microchip, you know, and that's going to be another way you can get your benefits back, right? You want food stamps, you want Section 8, they're going to tell you got to take a microchip. And a lot of people are going to go down to Egypt. Another word for Egypt is America. They're going to go down to America for help. And it says, woe unto them, death. You're gonna run to the FEMA camps. You know, the average American, the average Israelite's gonna run to the white man for help, and he's gonna chip you up, and then you're gonna eat a missile. All right. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because there are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Yeah, so you don't seek Yahweh. Most of our people, they're not seeking after the Lord. And when shit hits the fan, when shit, you know, people start bleeding, when there's blood in the streets and you can't buy or sell without this chip, you know, as the scripture says, there's going to be crying for wine in the streets. People are going to be looking for answers. You're going to look for the prophets, and the prophets going to be somewhere, you know, hidden away, you know. And it's going to lead to a lot of people just going down to the so-called white man for help. You're going to go down to Egypt and end up taking the chip, you know. That's why Isaiah 33:6 says, for wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, man. You know, knowing what's going on, understanding the prophecies, understanding what is going to happen in the future. Okay, and this prophecy is life and death, because Revelation 14:9 and 10, it tells you if you take the mark of the beast, if you take this chip, you're going to eat the missiles. You're going to eat them missiles, man. When them missiles rain on America, you're going to be there and melting, you know, along with the heathens. All right. You're going to die the death of the heathens if you're an Israelite. All right. But the prophecy is clearly here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this video out, and that'll be that. The vision is speaking. If you can't see it, Yahweh Shemel Shai is not dealing with you.
We're not going to let that happen.
China alone is sitting on 3.4 trillion in reserves. They control half the world's manufacturing. They're building energy routes through the Belt and Road Initiative and issuing billions in loans through their No Development Bank, all without touching a single US dollar. And their goal? Bypass the West, kill the dollar, take the throne. And it's working. The dollar's share of global reserves has dropped from 70% to 58% since 2000. BRICS is even flirting with a gold-backed currency to rival the SWIFT system. Already 1 in 5 international trades is happening outside of the US dollar system. That's huge. If you would have said that back in the 1970s, people would have laughed at you. Meanwhile, China's digital yuan is exploding, now used by over 260 million people. They're racing ahead in AI, electric vehicles, rare earth dominance. They own 80% of the global supply chain for critical minerals. And here's the wild part. Investors are paying attention. Bitcoin just smashed through the $123,000 mark early this morning. It happened right in the middle of crypto week on Capitol Hill, not because of the hype, but because people are smelling panic. They see a dollar in decline, and Trump's crypto play is maybe the last-ditch effort to stop all of this bleeding. I mean, look what Zero Hedge this morning tweeted. Said this, global bonds dumping, Bitcoin soaring, kind of sort of getting to the end game here. Ouch. Yeah, it's about to get ugly. This is a financial war. Trump's making bold moves, like building a strategic Bitcoin reserve, calling for pro-crypto legislation. But China isn't slowing down. BRICS isn't backing off. And the dollar isn't safe at all. So the question is this: can Trump's crypto pivot buy us some time? Or are we watching the end of the American financial empire? So that's the news update from Capitol Hill today. Now I want to tell you about today's sponsor, which is tied directly to everything we just talked about with crypto. Bitcoin, record high. And it's important because I have shown you my #1 crypto opportunity for over a year now on this show. In fact, I've been talking about it for 14 months here on the show. It's been incredible in my view. And they're the sponsor.
All right. Look, man, these people, these, you know, talk show hosts, red pill community, they don't know what the hell is going on. All right. The only ones that have the 100% truth is the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And we're going to be found faithful in the end, man. All right. We're going to get the last laugh when this prophecy is fulfilled. These people don't know what's going on, man. All right. That all they can do is speculate. All right. And we take these videos from like Redacted and these different videos and we edify. We go to the scriptures, man. And we prove all things through the scriptures. So the prophecy is speaking. You're going to have a lot of false prophets out here speaking against this prophecy. But then shall it be known who are my chosen, man. The Lord is going to make it known that the elder apostle, the great millstone, these are the men of the Lord, along with the affiliates, the brothers, the elders that are teaching the correct doctrine, man. All right, so the prophecy is speaking. The world is going digital. You can't stop it. Prophecy about to roll everybody over. Everybody about to get hit with reality. And reality is the digital currency, the mark of the beast, and ultimately the hour of temptation. This thing is around the corner. All right. So with that, call Yahweh Shai. Connect some shalom. Keep watching.